validation controls used in ASP.NET. Also, we will also discuss what the concept of master page. Okay, so that it will be useful for you to the second half your lab programs for the lab classes. Okay. So as I said earlier, basically in the server side state management technique, what happens? This thing states are managed. The states of a web page are managed by the servers, not by the clients. So what happens? So during the time of managing the states, the memory resource of the server is used instead of the server memory resource of the clients. Thus, memory of the server is used. So now the benefit of this technique is that the server side state management techniques are much more secure than that of the client side state management techniques, because centrally it has been being managed by the servers, and the security of the servers are believed to be much more than that of the security of the clients. So therefore the security, the state management security of the server side techniques are much more than that of the client side techniques. So this is the benefit. Whereas the drawback is that since the memory of the server is used for managing the state, so therefore what happens? Storing the data into the server, again retrieving the data from the server, it takes a huge amount of what? Processing time. Okay, so therefore the performance of the program or the performance of the system may be degrade as compared to the client side state management techniques. So in other words, what we can say is basically the client side state management techniques are much more faster than that of the server side state management techniques. Okay, so on the other hand, the server side state management techniques are much more secure than that of the client side state management techniques. So now while writing an application or while designing an application, if your concern is to if your concern is to have a improved this thing security, then in that case you should use what? The server side state management techniques. But whereas if your concern is to have a high performance application, then go for a client side state management techniques. So basically in the server side state management techniques, there are two approach. One is the session, another one is the application. So these two approaches are used extensively for the server side state management techniques. Okay, so I am just sharing the screen for all of you. Go through it. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
I'm just starting my Visual Studio. Visual Studio. I'll start a new website and I'll tell you what is a web server is basically. File, new website. Now look at this, where it is being opened in D drive, my website, and here I will give the name, say suppose SMIT. In the D drive, my website, the folder name is what? SMIT. So I'm creating an empty website. Okay. So one website is created having a web.config file, but there is no default.aspx. I'll add a web page, simple web page, that is web form default.aspx. Okay. Now let me change the background color of this page so that it will be clearly distinguishable while running your web page. Just a minute. Okay, so I'm setting a background color for the page. So now when I will run this website, the website is appearing onto the screen. But the question arises, how this website is appearing on the screen? On the basis of what? Okay, now who is sending this web page to this web browser? Who is sending? Does this ASP.NET, this ID is sending? No, the ID is not sending. The ID is compiling, the ID is running. A running code has been executed, that's it. But now who is sending this default.aspx to the browser? Anybody? The moment I run the website, okay, a web page is appearing on the browser. Now who is sending this website to the browser? Anybody have any idea?
Sir, server.
Yes,
So
the web
server.
server basically. It is the web server basically. Okay, the web server is sending this to the web page to the browser. Now the web server is sending this web page to the browser. This is fine, but how and where is the web server? Basically, the web server takes help of a protocol. That protocol is known as what? HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. The web server takes the help of the HTTP transfer protocol to send the file to the browser or to run the file in the browser. That's it. Am I clear to all of you? But now the question arises, where is that web server? If you see, the web server is not installed over here at all. But the moment I have installed this .NET framework and the .NET have its inbuilt own web server. And using that web server, we are able to run the web page. Using that web server, we are able to run the web page. You see? IIS Express. You see, this is the web server which is running. The moment I'm running the website, the web server starts running. So this is the IIS Express. So the moment I have installed this ASP.NET or the .NET framework over here, or this IDE Visual Studio, the moment I have installed, what happens? At the same time, the IIS Express has also been installed as an web server. Okay, so that IIS Express is running your web pages. Am I clear to all of you? Apart from this, you can install your own. Okay, see, without a web server, a system is simply an ordinary system. Okay, it cannot run a web page. It can only run a web page when there is an web server is installed over there. The moment you install an web server applications like IIS or Internet Information Services, now what happens? Your system becomes a web server, and it has some ability to run your web page. Now let us see how to create a web server over here, how to make a system to act as an web server. Okay, so that thing is basically what? Internet Information Services. So by default, your system is just simply a dumb terminal having no web server capability. So first we'll install the web server and let us see how to make this system as a web server. So I am going to this control panel. You see the steps. Control panel. Okay. Administrative tool. Okay. So these are the different servers or services which are been installed. If you go to the services, so these are the list of services which are currently installed in your system. So but there is no internet information services. If you'll see, there is no internet information services. You see, there is no internet information services, or in simply we can say this system is not a web server, but we can make the system as a web server by installing IIS or Internet Information Services. So here in the control panel, what I will do, I will go to the programs. Okay, then turn Windows features on or off. Look at this. These are the additional services which we can install in the server to make it install in the system to make it as a server. So for example, here Internet Information Services. If I will install this, this system becomes a what? A web server. Look at this. I am installing various options. So here I am defining what kind of web pages it is able to run. So basically, under Internet Information Services, I have selected everything. So this has been selected. Then I'll click on the OK. Right. So it will start installing your web server into this system. So once the installation has been finished, this system becomes a web server. It will take 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. So this has been installed. The moment it has been installed, okay, the moment it has been installed, now what happens in the C drive, you will see there is a folder that is called inetpop that has been created, and within this www root. So here you can install your website. Okay, so how you will ensure that your web server has been installed correctly or not? Simply you type http localhost. Okay, so if this is visible, then this means your web server is installed. Now I am again going to the control panel. You see administrative tool. So here you will see that the Internet Information Services has been installed. Okay, so here what I can do, I can create a website over here. Okay, this is your website, web server. Okay, so here by default website is there. So here what I will do, I'll add a virtual directory. Okay, so here what I will do, the provide the website name is basically the SMIT, and here I will choose the path to the website. That is my website, and then SMIT. Okay, so your website is installed over here. Then I'm converting it to the application. Okay, so now here localhost slash SMIT. See, your website starts running, and the URL of your website becomes what? Localhost slash SMIT. Okay, so now this website I can open it in the Visual Studio itself. It is also possible. I'm closing this Visual Studio and I will reopen it. Visual Studio 2019, run as administrator. Okay, file, open website. But this time, instead of the file system, I am going to the local IIS. So here I have this SMIT, opening this. So your website is open over here. Okay. This is the design of your website. At the moment I will run, instead of that IIS Express, it will start what? IIS. If you see here, it is the IIS Express is for this previous website, this thing. But for this, you are running what? You are running IIS, Internet Information Services. But this is not our aim basically. What is our aim is basically, remember few points. First point is that the moment you create a website, an application pool is created. For that website, an application pool is created. What is application pool? Application pool is basically what? The application environment. For the specific website, one environment is created. Okay, so within that environment, the website starts running. Okay, so now suppose there is a website SMIT, this website, or say suppose there is a website, so google.com or a facebook.com, the website is there. The moment the website is open, what happens? An application pool is created, an application environment is created where the facebook.com will start running. Okay, now at the same time, say suppose user X, user Y, user Z, say suppose there are 10 different peoples are opening the website from their desktop, from their system. So now what happens? 10 instance of the website is created and all these 10 instances start running within that application pool, within the same application pool. 10, 30, 40, 100 millions, n number of websites you can create. See, facebook.com is being accessed by at a time maybe 10 crores or 15 crores people across the world, maybe. Okay, so in that case, it is not creating 10 to 15 crores pools. All these are basically what? Instance. Okay, a copy of the original website, but all these copies are start running within the same application pool. This thing, remember this thing, all these applications are start running within the same application pool. Okay, so the moment I'm creating this website SMIT, what is happening? We are having a one application pool. That application pool is for the SMIT. Okay, and similarly in this same application pool, if you start accessing this website, my website SMIT, from your system, then you are creating what? One instance of this SMIT, and the same instance is also running within the same application pool where this website is currently running right now. Okay, since you are in a different network right now, you cannot access this website, this SMIT localhost. Basically this website you cannot access from your system, since you are residing in a different geographical area or a different, you can say, the domain area. But if you will be staying in the hostels basically over here, or if you are using the hostel network over here, you start typing localhost colon 522221/default.spx, you will see the website will open. You will see this page will open in your system. Okay, because all these web pages or the copy of these web pages are within the same application pool. For a website, a single application pool is created, and that application pool is being shared by n number of user or any number of user, those who are accessing the website. Am I clear to all of you? That is the concept of the application pool. But now let us see what is a session, what is a application. Here, session object. So now, as I said earlier, session and applications are basically what? These are the server side state management techniques. Okay, so basically it is very much a strong technique. Okay, and it is used to identify the users. Remember this thing, it is used to identify the users. Okay, so the thumb rule is basically, remember this point, the thumb rule is basically what? the moment you start typing a web address, website address, facebook.com or rediff.com or flipkart.com, whatever the website name, what happens, your instance of that website or your copy of that website start running within the same application pool where the website has been created. Okay, within the same application pool. If 100 users are accessing, 100 copy of the same website is start running within the same application pool. Am I clear to all of you? But for all the 100 instance of the copy, or for the all the 100 copies of that same website, 100 different session objects are created. So suppose there is one website. Okay, if there is one website, is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
If suppose this is your website. Okay, so now this is basically your application pool. Okay, application pool. Now the moment you start accessing this website over here, over here, over here, now what happens, these are basically the different instances. All these instances are being created within the same application pool. Okay, all these instances are start running within the same application pool, but for each of these instance of this website, for each of these instance of the website, one session object is created. One session object is created over here. So for each instance, a single session is created. So now what is the use of this session object? The session objects are used to identify, like basically, who is the user currently accessing the website. Who is the user currently accessing the website? Whereas application is used to identify which application that you are accessing right now. Okay, application pool is for the entire application, for the entire website. Session objects are basically for the specific users. Okay, now so suppose I will change the background color of this web page. So suppose I will change the web page background color was this. The web page background color was this. Okay, so therefore these are different instances. Okay, if I will change the background color of this web page to say suppose green, now what will happen, the background color of other web pages will also, the instances are also will be changed, because what I am doing basically, I am changing in the application pool, not in the session. I'm changing in the application pool. Therefore any changes which is made within the application pool, it will be reflected into the all the instances of the website. Okay, but I am logging into the system as this is for this website. Say suppose I am logging into this system. Okay, so now what will happen, the session object of this instance, the session object of this instance, the first instance, will store what? It will store my username, isn't it? So suppose system is logging into this system main website from this through this instance, or through this his laptop, or from his system. Now what will happen, his username will be sent to the server through the session object. So say suppose there are 6 different users are there, 6 different users names are being maintained by the session object, 6 different session objects. So these session objects are will be responsible to identify the users. Am I clear to all of you? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes,
what
sir.
conclusion that you have drawn out of this? Conclusion is basically what? Applications are for the entire application. Sessions are for the specific users or specific instance of the website. Okay. If any change I will made in the session object, in one session object, it will not be reflected in other session objects. If any change I will made in one session object, it will not be reflected in other session object, right? So now if you will purchase a, say suppose MI mobile from your Amazon account by logging into the Amazon website, suppose you have purchased one Redmi mobile, okay? So in my Amazon account, your sale will not be reflected. Will it be reflected? No. It will only be reflected in your own login because of the session object. This is possible because of the session object. Okay. So it will be reflected in your own system, in your own login, because that session, whatever task or whatever activities that you have performed over there, that is specific to you, not to me. Whatever products that you have viewed recently, it will be visible to you, not to me. Isn't it? Am I clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
I will show you one example of session and application object more clearly. So suppose I am going to the Amazon.in, you see. Let us say recently. Let me say suppose 10. I'm just seeing this mobile, you see. Okay. Now I am viewing this mobile. Okay. Now look at this. By seeing this mobile, then again I am appearing one more mobile, so seeing another one mobile. Say suppose Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. I'm seeing another mobile. Okay. Then I'm seeing another mobile. That is also good. Fine. Yeah. Then I'm going to the bottom, you see. Again, I will open what? Amazon.in. Okay. Amazon.in. Look at this. Related to items that you have viewed. Okay. I have seen one Redmi 10 Pro and Redmi 9 Pro Max. These two mobiles I have seen, but at the same time, the Amazon is also suggesting these mobile phones, the right hand side mobile phones. Okay, so you have seen these two mobiles. These mobiles are also equivalent to these two mobiles or similar to this mobile. You can also view them. Indirectly it is suggesting me. But now you open Amazon.in in your web phone, mobile phone, or in your system. You see, you will not see this kind of Redmi 9 Pro Max and this Redmi 9 10 Pro. You will not see this because I have seen this in my browser. So therefore, it is suggesting to me the product that you will view in your browser, that will be suggested to you, that will not be suggested to me. Okay, so if you will see a tab over there, that tab will not be visible to me in this list. Am I clear to all of you? This is possible because of the session, because my session is storing these mobile phones, these two mobile phones. So therefore Amazon is able to identify other mobile phones using my session object. Okay, and the moment you see your products over there, okay, then Amazon will show you your products based on your session value. So this is how the session being managed. Okay, now you see this line. Customers who viewed this item also viewed these items. What does it mean? Recently, I have seen Redmi 10 Pro, right? Immediately, the Amazon.in is checking its application pool to view how many users are being viewed this Redmi Note 10 at this moment, or just in few days before. How many users have been seen, and how many other phones are being viewed by the various users, and those lists being appear to me. So what the Amazon.in doing? It is simply checking the application pool. It is not checking the session pools. It is checking what? The application pools. Okay. So now if I am viewing this product over here for few days, this product will start visible to you under this list. And this is possible because of the application pool. Am I clear to all of you? What is an application pool? What is a session object? Now coming back to this. So a session object is basically what? It is an object which is being managed for a specific user, whereas this thing application object is what? It's an object which is managed to the entire website. Another example we will see, the application object is basically hit counter, the number of visitors to the website. I want to keep track how many number of users are being viewing my website. So that is possible through the application object. Okay. So this is basically the application variable, or the application and the session, we can say. Basically in the next class we will see in detail how the sessions are created, what are the different types of sessions are there, okay, how the sessions are being managed, various ways of managing the sessions, okay. Then we will see also the application object. So in that case, this chapter will be finished, and after that I think 2 or 3 more chapter will be left for all of you. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me the question. Okay, then we are winding up the class today. So we will start your lab class today at 2:30 p.m.
Thank you, sir.
I'm just
Thank you,
taking the attendance. Then all of you can. Acha, who is Abhinandan? Is there? Okay, all of you can sign out right now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.